It's Jamie here. Happy Sunday to you all, and as I like to call it, happy self-love, spirituality, self-reflection Sunday. I'm really excited to be coming to you all today with a topic that I think is so fitting for this upcoming week, seeing that it is, if many of you don't already know, Valentine's Day coming up on Thursday. The topic I want to talk about today for a little bit briefly is the topic of love. And this was inspired really by a friend of mine who asked me a question last night during a conversation we were having. He asked me, how do you define love in your life? Because that phrase, I love you, or saying to someone that you love them, gets thrown around a lot. But what does that really mean? In particular, I'm really talking about in an intimate relationship, in a very intimate, physical, passionate relationship. What does that phrase mean? I think before even getting that question, you could ask yourself, why do we as humans crave relationships? Why do we yearn so much to share ourselves and our life with another individual that we are willing to sacrifice and put aside our own deepest needs, our own deepest desires sometimes to be selfless for someone else and put someone else and their feelings above our own? Why do we crave these relationships? I think really at the fundamental level, the deepest reason why we crave these relationships is because being in a relationship with someone allows us to magnify our human experience. I mean, think about it. Anytime you've been in a relationship with someone, if you have, most likely you've had some experience where you've been able to grow through being in a relationship with them, meaning maybe they've challenged you, they've brought something up that has tested you, that's caused you to expand and go beyond yourself, to give more than you thought you could give. And when you're in a relationship and you're able to magnify those emotions, you're able to connect with yourself, with your life at a much deeper level than I feel like you ever could by yourself. And that's a beautiful feeling, to have someone to share the journey with, to share your path with, to share the ups, to share the downs with. There's no greater feeling than having that unconditional connection with someone else. And so I think that, when you're looking at love and how you feel with someone else, I think that at the end of the day, love does come down to a couple specific things. Can you trust someone? Can you be fully open and honest with them? Can you not be afraid to hide yourself or to mask your emotions or mask your feelings or put on a facade of being someone that you're not? Can you really show yourself fully to that other person and feel comfortable with it and love them for who they are when they show themselves to you? Do you have a deep level of commitment towards someone? Meaning that no matter what happens, you are committed to being dedicated to them, to giving to them when things get tough. When it's not easy, when it's tough to make that decision. Are you committed to someone else? Do you have interests that you share? Are your values the same? Are your beliefs about life, about your purpose here on this earth? You share those common threads of your characteristics and things that are most important to you, the things that you love to do in your life. And when you have those shared interests, you're allowed to really connect and blossom even more fully. And do you respect the person? Do you honor them? Do you really see them as someone that you are privileged to have in your life, that you are compassionate towards them, that you understand what they stand for? I think that those four things, respect, trust, commitment, and shared interests, really are a great foundation for viewing relationships with and how deep each of those go in your life. But aside from that, I think that something which really it hit home to me a little while ago is looking at a relationship at a deeper level than just the mental, the physical, or the emotional level. And I'm talking about, can you be in a relationship with someone on a spiritual level? And whatever that means to you in terms of spirituality. But to me, what it really means is, if you think about two people being in a relationship, here's person A, here's person B. When you're in a relationship with two people, if you don't have that deeper spiritual connection, if you don't have that deeper connection with yourself and with your own purpose in your life and your creator and the belief of why you're here on this earth, so often we'll put that pressure to be completed on the other person. And when we do, things tend to get difficult and it might overwhelm and it might cause conflict. But if you're able to add in sort of that spiritual piece, which would be represented by my thumbs here, if you're able to really have the connection with the other person and a deeper spiritual connection with yourself, with your creator, with your life, then no longer is that weight and that pressure to be fulfilled or be complete or be made happy placed on your partner. I think that takes a lot of load off people, because so much of problems in relationships these days comes from a desire to be made whole by someone else or be pleased by someone else. And when they don't meet our expectations, we get frustrated and we get angry and we get resentful. And I think that's tough. It's a tough bridge to kind of cross, is how can you really find your own self-love first before you can really give fully to someone else? How can you give fully to yourself and fill yourself up with abundance and happiness before you share it with someone else? So that was a mouthful. I know that's kind of a lot coming at you, but I wanted to just kind of put that out there because I do think that love really is just so beautiful. At the end of the day, like that's why I think we are all here for, and what I think is the true purpose of life, to share ourselves with another person. And so I want to just briefly, I've got a last quote I want to share with you all that was shared again to me by a friend of mine a little while ago, and it's on the classic children's book, The Velveteen Rabbit. Absolutely love this book. And it's about, a rabbit, a child's toy, but I think there's a hidden message in there that is really connected to this idea of love and passion and connection. And this Velveteen Rabbit is talking to one of the other toys that is owned by this boy. And the Velveteen Rabbit is asking this other toy about love and what it means to be real and to be loved. So I'll just read you this passage briefly, and hopefully it can kind of sit and marinate and resonate with you. But the passage goes, "What is real?" asked the Velveteen Rabbit one day. "Does it mean having things that buzz inside you with a stick-out handle?" "Real isn't how you are made," said the Skin Horse. "It's a thing that happens to you. When someone loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real." "Does it hurt?" asked the rabbit. "Sometimes," said the Skin Horse, for he was always truthful. "But when you are real, you don't mind being hurt." "Does it happen all at once, like being wound up, or does it happen bit by bit?" "It doesn't happen all at once," said the Skin Horse. "You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't often happen to people who break easily, or have sharp edges, or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, and your eyes drop out. You get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. Once you are real, you can't become unreal again. It lasts for always." So as you go out today, as you go out this week, I hope you carry this idea of real, authentic, real love with you and your partner, your intimate partner, or whomever you're with in your life, or anyone you meet on the street, an unknown person, a friend. A smile can change someone's whole entire day. So in service, as always, and in love, I wish you all a very happy spiritual self-reflection Sunday, and may you have a fantastic week this week.